What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training. And today we're going to be talking about a 10-yard and 5-yard speed out route running quiz. Okay, so we're going to be looking at 3 different examples, and we're going to talk about how you guys can run an out route versus this specific coverage. So if you guys like this quiz format of the video and you want to see more specific videos or want your ideas showcased on the channel, fellas, don't be afraid to leave something in the comment section below. Any kind of feedback is always appreciated. We love hearing back from you guys because that helps us come up with new ideas for the channel and helps the channel keep moving. So we always appreciate it. Let's get started. So if you guys aren't familiar with the quiz format, that what we do, what I'm going to say is I'm going to give you guys a scenario, give you the example that we're showing on the screen. You guys are going to pause the screen, think about how you would run a 10-yard out against this specific coverage, and then I'll go into the breakdown. So this coverage here, you got outside shade, off man coverage, and you have to run a 10-yard speed out. So you guys can go ahead and pause the video, think about how you guys would run this specific route. And now I'm going to get into the breakdown of this specific video. So when I have an outside shade guy, right, we know that he's outside shade for a reason. His goal is to force me inside because he has what? Because he has safety help, right? So if you guys said that you want to attack the inside shoulder of this DB, get his hips to flip, and you slip back underneath, you would be 100% correct. Now, if you said that I want to attack the leverage of the DB, you would be wrong. So let's watch the thing full speed, and we'll explain why. So this receiver does a great job of attacking the inside shoulder of the DB, forcing his hips to flip, and then making a play on this catch. Because now let's talk about why that would be wrong. Because if you got an outside shade guy, like I said, that's his leverage. So a lot of guys will say, oh, you want to square him up, attack his midline, attack his leverage. But if you attack a DB's leverage, he was not just going to backpedal or just sit there. He's going to keep his leverage. So if you attack his leverage, he's going to widen. He's going to weave to the side that you're attacking. So you're going to end up running that out route right into him, and you're going to be covered. So what we have to do is we have to threaten him to the open grass, right? So we want to threaten him where he wants me to go. I want to try to get his hips to flip out of there and commit to the fade so I can slip underneath, and I still have space to the sideline where my quarterback can throw me open. Sure, you can attack his leverage. Sure, you can try to get to this outside shoulder and break this off, but you're going to have like 5 yards for that quarterback to lead you, and that's almost an impossible throw for that quarterback. So this receiver does exactly what you should do. So if you said attack the leverage, you'd be wrong. Not an uncommon mistake. That is a very common mistake that a lot of people think. They think anytime it's off man, oh, you just got to attack his leverage. Not true. Sometimes you want to split the defender in half, attack the inside shoulder like he does here. He does everything right. He sells vertical. He's got good pad level. He's running with good speed. We get that guy to commit, and then he's able to break this thing off suddenly with that DB's hips flip. That is how you guys get separation. A throw-by technique could work right here, but just make sure we attack the inside shoulder when I have outside leverage coverage and I have outside leverage off man coverage so I can slip back under and run this out route. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by this receiver out of Georgia here, attacking the inside shoulder, getting his hips to flip, and then breaking this thing right off to create some separation on this route, okay? So now, next route, fellas, is how would we run a 10-yard speed out versus an outside shade press coverage DB. So now he is in press. He is not an off man. Now, before we get into the breakdown of this, I want to explain to you guys one thing that we are going to be offering this offseason. We are traveling to 8 different cities across the United States for 2-day-long quarterback, wide receiver, and DB training camp. So we just got back from Tampa, Florida. We were really excited to get down to Florida for a camp with you guys. So if you guys attended that, we really appreciate it. And now we're going to be coming out to Houston, Texas in 2 weeks, then Phoenix, Arizona, Newark, New Jersey, Atlanta, Georgia, Chicago, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, and Los Angeles, California. So if you guys are local to any one of those cities and want to come out and get some great work in with myself and my staff of coaches, check out that very first link in the description below, fellas. We would love to have you out. And like you guys have probably heard from me in the past, spots are going to be limited. We're not having 30 to 40 kids out there because I feel that's not a good environment to actually teach you guys. The goal of this camp is to help you get better. It's not for exposure. It's not for recruiting. It's to help your skills get better so you guys can set yourself up for an opportunity to get recruited, because great football players play at the next level. But we feel we cannot do that. Nobody can do that when you have 30 to 40 kids out there. So we're limiting spots to 10 to 12 guys so we could actually explain to you what you're doing wrong, and we have time to actually coach you. So if you guys are local to one of those 8 cities, we would love to have you out. Check out that very first link in the description below. Let's get back to this video. So now, situation we were talking about here, right? So we have to run a 10-yard out, outside leverage DB. So you guys can go ahead and pause the video, outside leverage press coverage. So go ahead and pause the video. Think about how you would run a 10-yard speed out versus this specific coverage. Now I'm going to get into breaking this thing down. So I have an outside shade guy, right? So he's outside shade, so we already know based on the off-man coverage situation that he is going to try to force me where? Force me inside. So usually a DB will play you like this when your split is cut down because he thinks that you're automatically going to be running towards the sideline because your split is cut down. And obviously, what does he have? He's got safety help, right? But he's down in like press man, eyes are on the wide receiver. So what do you think you should do? So if you said that you want to, same thing. If you want to square him up off the line, like kind of stem him off the line, give him a move inside, then take the outside release, you would be 100% wrong. That's not what you want to do. What you want to do is you want to attack his leverage, get him to keep his leverage because we know he's going to do that, and then take the inside release. Nothing changes from the off-man coverage to press-man coverage when he is outside leverage, you guys. Now, the only thing that might change is that when I work him off the platform, I might have a chance to restack rather than get him to run with me and slip under and maybe throw by. So that's exactly what Garrett Wilson does right here. So let's play this thing full speed. So he attacks the DB's leverage, gets him off the platform, gets him to commit to the fade, and then is able to slip back underneath him and could have used a throw by in this case. But right, when he works to the outside, right, he's working him off the platform. This DB's keeping his leverage, man. If he forces this outside release right here, this DB is going to be right on his hip, right on his shoulder, and that quarterback's going to have no space to throw this ball. So you said take the inside release, you would be correct. You can run any route with an inside or an outside release. Don't let anybody tell you that because it's an outside breaking route, you got to release to the outside. That's incorrect. That is not correct statement. That is not how you guys coach the wide. That's not how you coach the wide receiver position, and that is not how you play the wide receiver position. Now, if it's in must outside release concept, chances are you're not getting the ball anyways if you're doing a must outside release, so you don't need to worry about that. But in this case, you can 100% take the inside release. We attacked his leverage. We got him off the platform. I take the inside release. I got him to commit to the fade just like we were looking at in the last clip there from that wide receiver from Georgia. I got his hips to go, and then I'm able to break this thing off suddenly and slip underneath and run that out route. That is a perfect job by Garrett Wilson. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Now we're going to be getting into, fellas, how you would run a 5-yard out versus a specific coverage. Okay, so now, we got an outside shade press coverage DB like we were just talking about, right? So how would you guys run a 5-yard out against this specific coverage? So again, he's up in press. He has to run a 5-yard out. So you guys go ahead and pause the video. Think about what you're going to do. And now I'm going to break this thing down. So now if he's outside shade, 5-yard out, the one thing that you could do is you could go straight at the outside shoulder, get his hips to flip, and then slip back underneath. So if you said that, that would be correct. But another thing that you could do is use a wide step release. So what is a wide step release? A wide step release is where you step with your back foot. And now again, he has his feet switched. The ball's to the inside here and his feet are switched. But even if his feet were not, like even if this inside foot was up, you could use like a double move or like a double tap to the inside, however you want to think of it. But you want to threaten this DB to the inside. You want to attack the inside shoulder with the move. So let's watch the thing full speed. So he does a great job of stepping wide outside his frame, getting that DB to flip his hips, and then getting back to the outside, right? So when he goes here and hits him with this wide step with the back foot, you see how much he's selling with the upper half, how much he's throwing his hip. That's going to get that DB to move because that DB's watching his hips. That DB's watching his upper half. So same thing. If it's a 5-yard out, a flat route, we have to threaten the inside shoulder, right? But I got to make sure that I'm selling with the upper half. I got to make sure I'm actually sticking to the outside and stepping to the outside to get this guy to move. That's a great route there by Edelman. So if you guys have to run that 5-yard out, if you guys said like kind of square him up and go straight there because it's 5 yards, you'd be wrong. But if you said attack the inside shoulder, then throw by, which you probably will have to do because it's 5 yards, you'd be correct. Or if you were to say, oh, take a wide step release, take a release to the inside, then really sell the release to get him to jump, that would also work. Something that could work here would also be like a dive release. A dive release is where you take like 3 steps to the inside. It's almost like that release you use when you have an inside shade guy and you have to run a slant route and you take 3 steps outside, you get him to commit, then you slip under. Same idea, they call it a dive release though. You take 2 to 3 steps to the inside, you get him to bite thinking that it's a drag, and then we slip back outside. So anything if you would have said attack the inside shoulder, or if you would have said use a release to set him up to the inside, that would have been correct. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great release by Edelman. Great job getting him to flip those hips and then making that break to that out route. All right, guys, we want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. We'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Always appreciate the feedback, like I said, you guys. So if you have any feedback, any video suggestions, we would love to hear them. And again, fellas, the 8 cities that we were traveling out to this offseason, we're coming to Houston, Phoenix, Newark, Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, Nashville, and Los Angeles. So if you guys are local to those areas, you want to get some individualized coaching, small group setting for 2 whole days, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you out to one of our camps. I'll see you guys next time.